I think we could all agree that Avengers Endgame was a big deal. The 22nd movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was praised by critics and fans alike, and it dethroned Avatar as the highest-grossing movie of all time. As you could probably tell, most people thought Endgame was a good conclusion to this 11-year-long storyline. However, there are some fans who were not a fan of how one character's story, ended in Endgame. That character? Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. Let's just start with a summary of this movie. After failing to stop Thanos from wiping out half of all life in the universe, as depicted in Avengers Infinity War, the remaining Avengers are at their lowest. Hope is restored once they realize that they could use the quantum realm to travel through time and retrieve the Infinity Stones before Thanos' snap. They succeed, with Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, bringing everyone back by snapping his fingers with the Nano Gauntlet, created by Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. All the superheroes engage in a battle with a time-displaced Thanos from 2014, in which Tony Stark ultimately sacrifices himself to defeat the Mad Titan once and for all. After attending Tony's funeral, Steve returns the Infinity Stones to their original point in time, but he then chooses to return to the 1940s, reuniting with his old love, Peggy Carter. A now elderly Steve Rogers appears in the present day, passing the Captain America mantle down to Sam Wilson, aka Falcon. I personally have no problem with Cap's ending in this movie. We're talking about a man who is frozen for nearly 70 years, and then finally waking up in a world that he doesn't recognize anymore. Although he still fought to protect the innocent, Steve always felt out of place, and he tries to keep ties to his past. In Captain America the Winter Soldier, he takes time to visit Peggy, now in her 90s. Once he finds out that his childhood friend, Bucky Barnes, was the Winter Soldier, he tried and succeeded in reminding him of their friendship. In Avengers Age of Ultron, Scarlet Witch puts him in a trance, taking him back to the 40s, to having the dance with Peggy that he always wanted. In Captain America Civil War, Peggy dies of old age, so there goes one connection to his past. In addition, Bucky is framed for bombing the United Nations, and Steve tries his hardest to clear his friend's name. He does succeed, but that does fracture the Avengers in the process. There's even a brief sequence in Avengers Endgame, where Steve and Tony are forced to travel back to the 1970s to obtain the Space Stone. Steve is hiding in a closet to avoid getting spotted, and he notices Peggy. For a brief moment, he was reunited with a loved one from his past. Of course Steve would want a happy ending after all of this, and I think he deserves it. I also don't get why some people think Steve's time travel detour is some time paradox. Earlier in the movie, Hulk explains that changing something in the past will just create a new timeline. Nothing from the present would be changed. All the previous MCU movies are still intact. There's just an additional timeline where Steve lived a full life with Peggy. Old Man Steve was somehow able to return to the main timeline to pass the Captain America mantle down to Sam Wilson. That's it. It's not really that complicated. So yeah, those are all my thoughts on Captain America's Endgame. As you could probably tell, I thought this was a great ending for one of the MCU's greatest characters. Hello, I see that you have reached the end of this video. If you liked what you just saw, you can give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter at DialogueNerdy. If you really want to, you can also ring the bell to be notified every time I upload a new video.